And I wanted to bring fresh roasted coffee taste to our home at the time on an affordable budget. So as soon as my brother-in-law introduced me to the fresh roasted coffee, we started experimenting with green beans ordered off Amazon and cranking them on a popcorn popper on the back porch. So soon after we got the popcorn popper and we're playing around, Santa Claus a few months later got us a 1 pound roaster. So I would start, getting the green beans, and you'd get a batch, and so there'd be enough that I would have more than enough, and so I started, selling to friends and family, and then perfecting the roasting process and learning more about the roast, how to do different roasts, what it meant to be single origin, the different flavors of coffee, and all that kind of came together. I named the business Buddy's Roast because it was for friends and family, and it was a fun name. And I had a friend reach out, and she wanted to make it a Memphis-themed coffee for all of her clients and gifts at Christmas time. I was like, that's a good idea. So I was thinking and talking with Savannah and with my family at home, and what about 901 Roasted? A few years ago, I went to a conference with Dakota Zook when he was over small groups, and it was on living out the gospel in your life as a community group with the surrounding people in your life. And so it just hit me because I would want to get the freshest coffee possible. And if there was a way I could build relationships with anywhere that would have fresh coffee growers and be able to share the gospel, it would kind of blend love of coffee of mine and the gospel. So 901 Roasted sources beans from multiple countries, but I've always had a desire to build those relationships directly. So through Pablo DeGilio, our church partner, church planting partner down in Mexico, he got me in contact with Jared in Jalapa, Mexico. And so there was a church plant that formed out of a coffee shop. Jared owns a coffee shop. His twin brother is the church planter. And so he and his brother started this coffee shop and soon became a church plant about 6 years ago. So Jared and I were talking on WhatsApp and set up a trip. This was March of 2020. So Alan and I had everything set. We had tickets and had the dates. But with the current state of the world, we needed to reschedule. Jared completely understood and said, "Oh yeah, man, that's perfectly fine. We'll figure out a date in the future." And finally, May 2022, Alan and I and Savannah, my wife, got to go visit Jalapa, Mexico, and build relations directly with the coffee shop there, with the church plant there, and through that, made multiple relationships come to fruition. So the vision with 901 Roasted is, building the relationships with the farmers there, being able to support the church plants, and also bringing back a good, fresh coffee that we can roast fresh here in Memphis and provide for Living Hope, provide for coffee shops like Happy Glaze, and anyone else in Memphis that's interested.